Everyone, welcome back to the Tableau tutorials. These tutorials are going to discuss about the conditional formatting. Okay, so if you remember, in the previous video we discussed about the conditional formatting, in which we applied a filter that provided us either the top 5 or the bottom 5. Okay, now in this video we are going to combine these two options and try to provide you the formula of both of them working together, that is the top 5 as well as bottom 5 in the same way. Okay, or in the same table they are going to be highlighted, because right now if we just try to work with it, either we can just drag this bottom 5 into the colors option, so that's visible, or we can just drag this top 5 filter into the color section, so that would be visible. We are not able to work with it, work with both of them simultaneously. So what we need to do is create a new calculated field, right? Just right click over here, go to create a calculated field, and let's just rename it as top or bottom 5. Okay, now what is the condition required for this top or bottom 5? The condition that is required is the combination of those two, that is the index must be less than equal to 5 and the last must be also less than equal to 4. So first of all we are going to work with this index part, that should be less than equal to 5. Or is basically used to combine two conditions or more, right? So I'm going to provide two conditions. One is going to be referring to the index part, the next is going to be referring to the last part. Okay, like this. Now this conditions, if we just apply, click on OK, what happens is, if we just drag it into the colors part, now these conditions are applied. That means if we just talk about this true value, that is referring to this orange color, we are getting not only the top 5 values, we are also getting the bottom 5 values that are being highlighted in the orange color. The rest values, that is those that are neither in the top 5 category nor the bottom 5 category, they are highlighted in the blue color. If we just want to hide them, we can just click on exclude, and this is the data that we are getting over here. Okay, top 5 or bottom 5, that's the filter that's been applied. Again, we have different ways through which we can apply these conditions, or we can just edit this calculated field that we have generated. Just like or, we have this and option. So and requires some data in a similar way of the or condition, but basically what the or condition requires is that either of the values, if the value is true, either of the values is true, then or returns true. In and, both of the values needs to be true so that it returns true. Okay, so that is a condition that is required. So if you just click on OK in this top 5 or bottom 5, then you see nothing is highlighted, because there is no such subcategory that is available that is in the top 5 and the bottom 5 as well. So this is the kind of a problem with the conditions. So it is always required that you go with not only just the correct condition but the correct formula as well. So top 5 or bottom 5, like this, you can just go for it. If you want to learn more about these functions, you can just go to these functions over here, and that's a logical disjunction operation performed by or. And if we just search for this particular function, that's and, so it performs a logical conjunction onto expressions. That's kind of difficult to understand. So in the similar way, you can understand that and requires both the conditions to be true or all the conditions to be true to give the true result. So if you just click on apply, you see already these things are highlighted, and click on OK. Now this is something we have applied over the table. Now there are various ways through which we can apply. Suppose we want to apply this conditional formatting. Let me just rename this sheet as conditional formatting on a visualization. I want to create a visualization on which I want to apply conditional formatting. Suppose I get this subcategory, I get the sales. Okay, so I don't want the sales here, I want the sales like this. Okay, now all these things are created, the index is created, the last value, everything is created for me, right? I can grab the index over here. Actually, make sure it's not visible, because I don't want to show this, so I have to just turn its header off. I want the top 5 values, I can get into the colors part. So these top 5 subcategories are highlighted. I want the bottom 5 values. So if I just drag this bottom 5 right now, then you see, although we have not got the last index, still the last value is not there, still it's working fine. Okay, so that's pretty good actually. It's working, it's highlighting the things for us. So that's the top 5 category, that's the bottom 5 categories. If you just want to drag this bottom 5 values, so these are also working for you. Okay, so this is the bar chart. Suppose you want to work with maps, so that's going to be the conditional formatting on maps. How can we work on maps? We can get the data like the states data on the maps, right? So these this is the map actually. If you just get the sales into the colors part, so yeah, these are the sales. We want to get the top 5 over here. So we don't want this top 5 in the detail, we want the top 5 in the colors part. Okay, so actually all are giving us the true. We can keep the index over here. So yeah, you can see that index is not working very good over here. What we can do is just double click on this, just remove this top 5, get the sales into the colors part, double click on the index. So yeah, that's applied. Double click on top 5. Now when we double click, what happens is Tableau tries to automatically determine that which place is best for this particular field. Now if you just drag this top 5 into the labels part, again we are getting all true options. That means it's not working good, because we are not getting a good index for all of this purpose, right? If we just get it to the latitude or the longitude values, then every place we are getting just index, that's 1. That's why it's not gonna work for the things like map. So we can just delete this sheet. If we have any kind of visualizations, like it could be any visualization, it's gonna work for it. If you want to cross check it for yourself, you can just go to this visualizations pane and try to work, right? We obviously need to make a few changes for each visualizations, so let's just take a look at that how are we gonna do it. First of all, make sure this is the correct visualization we have. We're gonna duplicate the sheet and change it into this visualization, that is side by side bars. Okay, now for this what we need to do is, this is the subcategory and the sales that we are getting, right? Let's just get the index along with the subcategory over here. So yeah, we are getting this, and then get the top 5 into the colors part. So these 5 are visible. You want the index to be hidden, you can just make sure that the show header is not selected and that particular value is there. You want to expand this chart a little bit, you can use the shortcut control and the arrows. So yeah, that's visible. But that's again the bars that we are talking about. You can create a tree map in this way actually, and work your way through it. You have this packed bubbles also that you can work through. You have all these charts that you can work through. Okay, so these things would be provided to you, all these visualizations would be provided like this. So that's how we can work with these different kinds of visualization. Of course, you need to make the changes, that you need to figure out that what changes are you gonna perform in which visualization, and that would work for you. So that's all for this video, in which we learned about the visualizations that we can perform on or the conditional formatting which we can perform on the different visualizations. Now that just not is for the top 5, you can drag this bottom 5 as well. So if you just drag this, the bottom 5 thing is also working. You want to work for all, the top and the bottom 5 both are working, right? Now let me just show you one more thing. If you just don't want bottom 5, you want suppose bottom 10. So let's just go with 10. What you need to do over here is just change the index, that's 9. Click on OK. Now when you apply this bottom 10 into the colors part, then what we are getting, the bottom 10 bars are highlighted like this. Okay, so that's all for this video on conditional formatting, and thanks for watching.